Gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to yield 5 minutes to my good friend, the gentleman from Michigan and the leader of this bill, Mr. Peter Meijer.
Gentleman from Michigan is recognized.
Thank you. And Mr. Speaker, I rise today in strong support of H.R. 4476, the DHS Trade and Economic Security Council Act. The importance of our nation's economic security cannot be overstated. For our country, economic security means peace and it means stability. It means the ability to be entrepreneurs and to freely produce and consume goods and services. For each of us as individuals, it means a secure livelihood, safe communities for our children to grow up in, and opportunities to build new institutions and contribute to society. The level of economic security that we enjoy depends largely on the flow of goods, services, and information across our borders. Over the past few years, we have seen this flow interrupted significantly. Our supply chains were challenged and at times overwhelmed. Unfortunately, these challenges are likely to increase and continue because of the dependencies we have built on hostile nations, including our overwhelming trade with China. Vladimir Putin's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine is just another reminder of the global dependency on Russian energy production and the devastating national security consequences of being economically dependent on our adversaries. The threats to our economic security are numerous and growing and cannot be overstated. The peace and prosperity of our country is at risk. We saw the first inklings of this threat at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, when the U.S. could not find enough personal protective equipment for its hospitals and medical providers, and China threatened our security by imposing export restrictions on masks and ventilator components, preventing U.S. companies from getting the deliveries they needed from their own subsidiaries. This was just the tip of the iceberg, because we know that China is working hard to expand its global economic reach in a variety of ways. A report by the DHS Homeland Security Advisory Council correctly stated that DHS has no choice but to play a larger role in economic security issues and is charged with preparing for all manner of crises, from major hurricanes to terrorist attacks. The report also highlighted the threat that China poses, and it stated that these new long-term threats are economic, and the new weapons are trade deals, technological innovation, and critical supply chain dependencies. The U.S.-China strategic competition is increasingly driven by who controls the underlying systems and the rules by which we advance our economic interests. We cannot allow ourselves to be behind this curve in the next national or global disaster. We need to get ahead of it. To that end, the report made 2 recommendations on how the department can combat China's influence while also contributing to our economic security. First, concluded that to keep the civilian side of our economy functioning in a time of crisis, Congress should institutionalize a politically appointed official to conduct day-to-day policy coordination with who resides in the Office of Strategy, Policy, and Plans. This bill codifies such an assistant secretary position in that office. Second, the report recommended that DHS institutionalize a council that would identify concentrated economic risks, set priorities, and coordinate enterprise-wide actions on economic security matters. This bill follows that recommendation by establishing the DHS Trade and Economic Security Council while also defining its roles and responsibilities. Codifying these important facets of the department is a critical step to ensure our economic security. And the work that this council and the assistant secretary will do is critically important to the nation's response and resilience to the next unforeseen global crisis. It's crucial that DHS lean into its unique position as the only executive agency that deals with both the national security and economic prosperity of the nation, and lead the United States government as the preeminent economic security agency in the decades to come. I'm proud to have led this important and timely effort, and would like to thank my friend and colleague, the ranking member, Mr. Katko, for being an original co-sponsor, and also thank Representatives Luria, Delgado, and Slotkin in particular for reaching across the aisle. Economic security is truly homeland security. I urge my colleagues to support this important bill. Thank you, and I yield back the remainder of my time.